Joining us right here to kick off this hour, the actor and author Jay Ellis is here. His new book, there it is right there. Did everyone have an imaginary friend or just me? Adventures in Boyhood, available right now wherever you get your books. Jay Ellis is here on the program. Good to see you, sir. How are you?
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. You look great, by the way. You look great.
Thank you.
I really enjoy. Is that a corduroy? Are you wearing corduroy today?
Rich, I wore this for you, man.
Did you really?
Yeah, I wore this for you.
How did you know I like corduroy? People who wear the same color corduroy shirts and pants.
I just had a feeling.
Is that it?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're connected. There's a chord connection we have here somewhere. I don't know.
Because it's like this. Because you were here years ago. I forget what. Was it in support of Insecure, right?
Yeah.
Okay. On HBO.
Yeah.
And so, what did I say to you last time you were here?
You asked me if I was a referee.
Oh my God. That doesn't sound like me, does it?
Come on. I had a white and black striped shirt on, and the first thing you said to me when I sat down was, "So you a referee part-time or?" Gosh. And here we are.
I guess it's better than me saying if you worked at Foot Locker.
Yeah,
that's probably right.
In between shifts.
It does look like a referee
Listen,
shirt.
I need a shoe discount.
You're watching it now?
I'm looking at it right now.
I'll take a shoe discount.
It does look like a referee outfit.
Let's not be disrespectful to Foot Locker now, guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's right, TJ.
TJ.
Back in the day. What mall was that? What mall was that?
By the way, you know when I went home 2 weekends ago,
yes.
I went through Pittsburgh. The Foot Locker's gone, guys.
Oh.
It is no longer.
Pour one out.
On Fifth Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh.
Man.
I was hurt. Gone.
I was an athlete's foot guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I worked at Athlete's Foot. That was my first job, was working at Athlete's Foot, yeah.
In high school?
In high school, yeah. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Woodland Hills Mall. Yeah.
Okay.
I needed a shoe discount.
I understand.
That's one way to do it. So tell me about the book. Why? Because you could tell from the book that you truly did used to have an imaginary friend, or do you still have your imaginary friend?
No,
right now?
he's gone. He's not here anymore.
Okay. Right.
But no, I during the pandemic, I just kind of started, I was looking at some pictures and all these like kind of memories from childhood started to flash, and I started writing these stories down, partly because I just didn't want to forget them, and I wanted to be able to like talk to my kids about my grandparents or my aunts or uncles or funny stories that may have happened in my childhood. And then all of a sudden I just realized I was writing more than I had set out to write, and then it just became a book. And then from there I just really started thinking about what role does imagination kind of play in our lives and in our childhoods, and then where does it go, and why do we kind of lose it, and then how do we get it back as adults?
And your childhood imaginary friend is named
Mikey. Mikey, yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of like Dwayne Wayne from Different World meets like Will Smith from The Fresh Prince.
Okay.
It's like if these two kind of came together. I wanted like an older brother. I wanted somebody cool who could like, show me the ropes and teach me how to be cool, I guess. And that's what he was.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Two good people to mash up
Two
right
good
there.
people, right?
Yeah.
He had the glasses and everything.
Glasses. The
Well, I mean,
sneaker game was thorough.
Here we go.
with
Put
those
it right
two.
there. You take a look at the cover. He's right there over your shoulder on the cover. Right there.
With the flat top.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
like me when I was a kid.
Because we all had the flat top. It was the haircut of the time.
My apologies. Is that Kid or Play who had it?
That was kid.
This kid.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I'm on. Hair's not my forte.
But you knew one of them had it.
Yes, that I did. I was.
He worked with Stuart Scott, so he had to know these things.
That's true.
Stu Scott's in the book.
Is he really?
Yeah, man.
What
Really?
about what?
I tell this story about how like I was gonna wake up. It was basically a nightmare, and I was gonna wake up and essentially like you guys were gonna be on in the morning doing a play-by-play of this horrible decision that I made, and it's basically just gonna be on replay on TV like over and over and over again, because there was some witty wordplay. I woke up every single morning. Like that was the first thing I did. Like
Pop on SportsCenter?
Pop on SportsCenter every single morning.
How old are you?
42 now.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Damn. Yeah. Wow. So, yeah. I by the way, I love hearing stories about Stuart, and how people used to just watch the two of us, because we were
amazing.
By the way, when you were watching it in the morning, Stuart and I were dead asleep in real life.
In real life?
Yes, we were asleep because we would walk
'cause you'd
off
be
the
up so
set
early.
at 3:30, 4 in the morning.
Oh my God.
And so, were you living on the East
I was
Coast?
in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay,
so you
were
an hour behind.
An hour behind.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're watching the 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Central Time re-air, Okay, it's 9 a.m. Eastern time.
Right.
And we walked in the door of our respective houses at 4 a.m. We were out, dead to the world while you were waking up watching this, which is
Can I
kind of
just
wild.
ask you about that time? What was happening? Like, was it
What do you mean?
just because I think about that time? I actually talk about that time in the book a little bit, and how
Okay.
like all of a sudden, we now have 24-hour sports networks and news networks,
Yes.
and like there's this big boom in cable television, right? And ad subscriber television, and all of a sudden, like when I was a younger kid, there may have been a handful of channels. And then by the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, there's this big boom. And so
Yes.
like you're getting all this like messaging now. I truly woke up every single morning and watched SportsCenter. All my
Love it.
friends did. It's what we did. I would literally starch my jeans and iron a crease. Did you guys wear Dickies? I used to starch my Dickies and like put a crease in my Dickies and literally be watching SportsCenter every single morning before I went to school. And it was religion. All my friends did it.
Mm-hmm.
But it felt like we were watching, for me anyway, it felt like I was watching two guys have the most fun on the planet with something they loved. It didn't feel like a job, although I was a kid. So it didn't feel like you were working. It felt
Yes.
like you were having so much fun.
Yes.
And just getting to create.
I can confirm that.
Like whatever, like the stuff that would come out of your guys' mouth. I was like, who says that about
No.
basketball? Like it was just crazy to like watch that as a kid.
We loved it.
And it felt like you were also talking to like me
No kidding.
as a kid on the other side, because that's how we talked with our friends.
We were like two kids. Like Stuart, out of most anybody I've ever met, was a child inside of a man's body.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was absolutely, he had the youthful exuberance of somebody, who was your age watching it in a grown ass man's body.
Yeah.
He really was just like that.
That's awesome.
And he was exactly the guy you saw on the air. And the two of us, we would just come together. It's funny that you said I was required to know who Kid and Play was because I was doing SportsCenter with Stuart. I probably learned who they were through Stuart. I shouldn't say that about Kid and Play. I definitely knew who they were. But there would be times where he would make pop culture references, and I would ask him.
Yeah.
And he would kind of educate me on certain facets of pop culture with which I was unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And the two of us, and then I would bring that sort of stuff to the same table, and the two we'd just mash together.
It was magic.
And we had we would open up our schedules because it was a job, and there was management, and there was a schedule, and we would learn which nights we were doing SportsCenter kind of at the last minute, right on the outset of a month, and we would open up our schedules in like 1996, 97, and see that we were doing SportsCenter together, like exclusively. Like I was doing it with him, he was doing it with me, and he came to me one day and he goes, "Are we a team?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Should we ask somebody around here?" He goes, "No, don't ask anybody. Don't ask." And then just to finish up the story, since you were curious about it, when Keith Olbermann left SportsCenter and Dan Patrick had a seat empty, and there was there was kind of an inside audition process going on.
Right.
Sitting, who gets to sit next to Dan, who would take Keith's gig, and I wanted it. And Stuart got really upset with me because we were a team. Yeah. And he goes, "We're just as big as those guys."
Bigger.
Well, I appreciate you saying
Bigger.
that.
I mean, for me, bigger.
Right. So he was kind of pissed at me for, thinking about breaking us up when we're on the ascent. We're young, and we're the ones who are, killing it in the mornings. So why would I want to leave that battlefield? Is what he basically was telling me. And I'm just glad that I had those 7 years with him.
It's amazing, man. It's interesting you say that he was like a big kid on the inside.
True,
because that's what it felt like. And I think it's part of like what I also try to talk about in the book is like how, as an adult, how do you have that same play, that same imagination, that same play, that same creativity? Like, how do we find a way? That was a job. Again, to me as a kid, it didn't look like it, but like for you, that was a job, and you guys were getting up and going to work every morning at crazy hours. But like, how do you find a way to still bring that out in your life today?
In a daily basis. Amongst all the stuff
amongst all the
going on.
chaos and the craziness and kids and work and all of those things. Like, how do you find a way to bring that into your everyday life.
Did everyone have an imaginary friend or just me by Jay Ellis here on the Rich Eisen Show? Before we talk about a couple other things here, I do need a little bit of background here, because in the book you talk about your grandpa driving instead of flying and taking you on road trips, and you said your grandpa Booker ran the minivan like Jerry Jones runs the Cowboys.
No, he didn't
what
care
does
about
that
anybody's opinion. It was his team. It was his van. He didn't care about anybody's opinion. Not a Cowboys fan, but he didn't care about anybody's opinion at all whatsoever. He was the coach. He was the GM. He was the owner. He might have been the quarterback too when we in the minivan.
But how does one run a minivan like that? So, how did it take effect?
AC. Music when he wanted music, AC when he wanted AC. He wouldn't stop unless it was one of his planned stops. You know, back then we didn't have like TomTom or Google Maps or cell phones that were computers.
Actual maps.
So this dude he knew his stops along the way. And he was like, this is where I'm stopping, this is where I'm stopping, and this is where I'm stopping. And anyone who tries to deviate from the plan will get told no multiple times, and then you will get asked to sit in the back of the minivan as punishment for asking him to deviate from his routine stop that he had already planned out. It was an amazing time. But you know, my grandpa, he didn't love flying. I think he would always get in his like brown suit with his fat yellow tie and a bag of chicken when we get on the plane, and he'd end up dropping the chicken on him and getting stains all over it. And he was tall. He's like 6'3", 6'4", so also sitting in a plane wasn't comfortable. But I think he also really loved taking me and my cousins on road trips and seeing this country. And so we got to see, you know, we saw everything from reservations in New Mexico to, you know, Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta to we had Arita's water ice in Philly and Giordano's deep dish in Chicago. And, you know, we got to see so much of this country because he was afraid to fly, but then also B, because like he loved going on road trips and traveling and showing us the world. And so many of my like summers are just like road trips replaying in my head of all the places we went.
Fantastic. And are these memories good memories 30 years old, just like TJ's memories were of the time when the Cowboys had those good memories for him?
Wow. See, at least I got those memories, Jay. As a Jets fan, he's never enjoyed the glory that I have.
That's a legitimate question.
That is a legitimate
question. Thank you. I'm just doing the timing again. You know, you said you were 42. Question. You were talking about watching me when I was, you know, a young'un. Great moment. When I was covering the back end of the triplets
Cowboys,
era.
Those Cowboys. It's been a while.
I mean, it has. But
again,
it's been a while. Okay. Are you stayed right there? Or is that Is that Nickelback or stayed?
Ladies and gentlemen.
As a 49er fan who grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma, I just want to be very clear. I'm tired of the Dallas Cowboys.
I get it. But here's what I find funny. Even though you have gotten to the Super Bowl, which is great, the Niners have a longer Super Bowl less drought than the Cowboys.
And last year. Last year. And then 2 years before that.
Have gotten.
Yes. And then 10 years ago. And then 10 years ago this year.
You know who else hasn't won any?
3 times.
You know who else hasn't won any? The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, but we know that because
they haven't been there.
Jay, it gets brought up every single day, so we're aware.
I don't want to break the. I don't want to break the tradition.
I don't
want to break the tradition.
There's a horse and it's dead, and we've been beating this horse. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't get a chance
to stump it. I just want to put my foot on the horse one time.
The Niners haven't won a Super Bowl since '94, and that was
word.
It's nice to have a shot at winning a Super Bowl, no, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, after a while, losing has to be hard, though, Jay. Like,
after
a while, you just keep getting.
We're back this year.
It's like Charlie Brown trying to kick that ball, and Lucy won't let it.
That would be good. That would be good for you,
We're
for
back
sure.
This year.
We talked about this the last time you were here, but it's a different audience, and you're wearing something different. You interned for the Trailblazers?
I interned for the Portland Trailblazers.
When was this?
During the Jailblazer years, 03,
Oh,
04.
God.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mo Cheeks was the coach, and I was in the marketing. I was in a marketing and PR department. So I did marketing. I did PR during the day, and then with the marketing team, I did all the on-court stuff.
Okay.
And we would help sell like group packages and stuff like that to corporations in Portland. But part of my internship was I would literally write press releases and apology statements for Mo Cheeks and for the players of this team.
So you've written an apology for like Sean Kemp?
For Rasheed Wallace.
Okay.
For Bonzi Wells.
Okay.
for Damon
Patterson?
Stoudemire.
Ruben Patterson
For
on
Ruben
that team?
Patterson when he called himself the Kobe stopper and then proceeded to get 40 every time he saw Kobe.
That was not a good idea.
Yeah, it was a very interesting, and I'm a kid. Like I must have been 20, 21 years old at that point.
Yeah.
And obviously these guys are like stars to me, and they are stars. And they're the biggest thing in the city by far. And it was absolutely insane to be a part of that season and to watch it just unfold the way it did. And also, I will say, for as chaotic as that season was and troublesome as that season was,
yes,
I do think there was also a very interesting narrative that was being spent about that team at that time, where we've had other teams that have also been in trouble. By the way, the 90s Cowboys.
Yeah.
But they
won.
They did put 3 trophies in the case.
They won. So
yes,
the
they
narrative
did.
was different because they won. But there was just as much trouble happening off the field back then. But I think it was interesting, the narrative that was being spun about that team at the time, because I think those were young guys who were trying to figure out who they were in the world.
I know.
But it was an amazing time, man.
So you were an intern there, huh?
Yeah.
Like, get me Jay. Ruben, you have no idea what Ruben Patterson said. Get me Jay. Where's Jay?
Literally, I would wake up in the morning. I would wake up and I would read the news about something that happened, and then I would go into my internship, and they'd be like, "Hey, could you draft a statement for Coach Cheeks, because he's going to speak to the press today about what happened yesterday. The guys got pulled over driving from Seattle back to Portland." Or there was a fight on the court or off the court, whatever it was. It was an absolutely insane experience.
So you had one drawer with an off the court press release, that standard press release, and then you had another one you got this one for on the court.
That was also the year that KG won MVP, which was also amazing to see, because he came into town, and like getting to be there and watch that was insane. To see KG go off like that, I remember the first time they played, he had a triple-double in the first half.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, my God, this is the best basketball player in the world. Like, this is crazy.
Well,
Such an amazing time.
Well, this was a blast, sir.
Thanks,
come back anytime. You don't have to write a book just to come back in. Oh, yeah, and what's your show?
Yeah, I'm doing a live show Tuesday night.
Okay.
In Inglewood at the Miracle Theater. I do like a 30-minute one-man show.
Terrific.
And then after that, I'm doing a conversation with Issa Rae from Insecure.
Okay.
So everybody can go scream Team
She was
Issa,
great
Team
in American
Lawrence.
Fiction, too.
She was great. She's great in everything. She's amazing. But she's come on board, and she's going to be my conversation partner Tuesday night at the Miracle Theater. It'll be a lot of fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Payback and Top Gun Maverick, too.
Yeah,
Crushing
man.
it. You're killing it.
It's been a fun ride.
You've been killing it.
Thank you,
and then you're the hoops show that you're in called Running Point.
Running Point.
That's coming next year.
Next year, Netflix. It's a family that runs a basketball organization, very similar to our Lakers.
Yes, indeed.
Very similar to our Lakers. Jenny Bus is actually an EP on the show.
Yep.
But it's the comedic version of, it's an office comedy, but the family runs this office and what the chaos is of running a basketball team.
And the lead actress?
The lead actress is Kate Hudson.
I've heard of her.
Incomparable, the phenomenal Kate Hudson.
Well, you know what? I've been in a scene with her that might be coming soon to a television screen near you in this actual program. That's where I saw Jay.
That's where we
bumped into That's the last time I
You
saw
don't
Jay.
tell us anything, do you?
No, I don't tell you anything.
You tell us nothing.
Honestly,
Well, he
thought we
tells
were
you the
friends.
Cowboys ain't no good.
Hey, listen, Jay. Here's the deal.
He tells you that. I'm sorry.
Jay, look around the room. Why? Don't let them pit us against each other.
I'm sorry.
You
You're
know,
right.
this is not
It's
how,
the Cowboy thing, though.
But this is not how America should be
pitting?
in 2024.
Who's
We
pitting?
should
The
not
Cowboy
be.
thing.
We should not be on each other
I
right
feel
now,
no
Jay.
Cowboy
No,
thing.
even though
He's
you're a
not pitting.
Niner fan, and I don't.
No one's
If
pitting.
you'd have said Eagles, I would have been okay.
I would never say Eagles.
I'd have been okay.
I say that team that gets their uniforms from Linens and things before I say the
Nice.
Eagles. Let me tell you
Linens
that.
and Things has been called.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So again, in that show that I saw Jay in, Jay plays a referee. We have his headshot. There it is. Come on, Jay.
Oh,
Jay.
man.
Jay.
Come on.
How
I love
could
this.
I not say something?
I love this.
Like you
This
put
makes
that
me
on,
happy.
you didn't think. It didn't like
no,
go on
man,
you?
I never saw it.
Okay.
I never saw it until you said it. I'm being like, serious,
really?
man.
Blind spot.
I never saw it until you said
Let me
it.
get the Jordan 11 and the 13.
But by the way, look at
You
the
got 11
accomplished
in the
man.
back?
Look at the accomplished man in the smaller square on the screen.
Oh, man.
And then the man who was here before wearing something from the Scott Foster collection.
Just, I think
Is that wrong?
You took my whistle from me that day. You were like, "Sir, give me your whistle." You were demoted.
I did not say that. Oh my
Foot
gosh.
Locker was great. They had a basketball hoop in there
I
with
used
like
to-
a scoreboard.
I used to dunk on people religiously.
Okay.
Oh, it was amazing.
Awesome.
Did everyone have an imaginary friend or just me? Adventures in Boyhood, where all books are sold right now at Jay Ellis, J.R. Ellis on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for coming in here,
Thanks
sir.
for having me,
Good to
man.
see you. Come back
Yeah.
anytime. That's Jay Ellis right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.